Jesus entered into Jerusalem, and some Pharisees who were not usually on Jesus' side, as a matter of fact, they had conspired against him, but at least there were a few Pharisees who thought that this rabbi did not deserve to die, and so they go and they whisper to him aside, "You need to get out of here. Herod, the great king, wants to kill you." Herod was one of the worst despotic dictators ever. He had 14 children and he killed 12 of them so that there would be no chance for them to succeed him as king. He got mad at the Jews one time and crucified 150 Jews on the streets leading into Jerusalem. And so if you were going to Jerusalem, you would have to walk through about a mile of people hanging on crosses. He was a bloody dictator. "You better get out of here, Jesus. Herod is trying to kill you." Jesus says, "Well, tell that fox," and it loses a little bit in the English translation for the Jews at that time. The fox was in the family of the dog. Tell that dog, I got to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to cast out demons. I'm going to heal people. I'm going to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. And whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I accept my fate. I'm here in Jerusalem. Jerusalem that kills the prophets and stones who God sends them. And then this wonderful, poignant, sweet little couplet, 2 verses. "Jerusalem, Jerusalem, who killed the prophets and stoned those who sent to you, how often I have longed to gather you as the chicken gathers the chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. Look, your house is desolate. I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Jesus grieves over Jerusalem. He wants them to change. We still want change in that place. I come back with 3 major learnings from my experience there. The first is it's incredible to go to a place where what you believe actually matters. It matters whether you are a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim. It matters because the Jews close their shops on the Sabbath, that's Friday night to Saturday night. The Christians close their shops on Sunday, that's when they go to church. And the Muslims close their shops on Thursday afternoon. You know by whether a shop is open or not, who believes what. It actually matters what you believe. The Palestinian Christians, the Christians who live in the West Bank, in 1948 were 22% of the population of the West Bank. Now they are 5%. They are being pushed out because they are the only ones who talk about nonviolence and forgiveness. It's powerful to be in a place where it makes a difference what you believe. If you are a Christian and a Palestinian and you want to go into Israel, to go to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the most holy Christian shrine there, the place where Jesus was crucified, you have to get a permit. It makes a difference what you believe. The second great learning that I bring away from that place is that peace is elusive. Just as 2,000 years ago when Jesus went into that place and it was dominated by the bloody Romans who had suppressed every revolt, today there is still great conflict in that place. And we Americans, with our idea of, well, why don't we just get everybody together and work out a compromise? We're so naive. We're so naive. There's complexity within complexity. went to the group that I was with, Methodist ministers. There were 12 of us, just like the disciples. We went to the foreign ministry. We went to what is the State Department of Israel and spoke with the official spokesman of the Israeli State Department. He had just returned from being the ambassador to France, an ambassador-level person. Here we are, this group of 12 ragtag Methodist preachers speaking with the former ambassador to France. And I thought, why do they even spend their time with us? And they wanted to hear what we had to think and what we had to say. And when we said, we support the right of Israel to exist, we support your claim for security, they said, thank you. Can you believe that? We walked with the colonel who designed the fence, the barrier, the wall that you hear so much about. And we went to the places where Palestinian terrorists were coming across the border and blowing themselves up. Israel experienced 40 years worth of terror in 3 years, from 2005 to 2008. They had as many terror bombings in those 3 years as they've had in the past 40 years. And it traumatized them. And where they built a wall because people were shooting through the fence into daycare centers. And parents were terrified about bringing their children to the daycare center. Wall is an ugly thing. It's a separation barrier. But since it has been put up, those terror bombings have decreased to almost nothing. It's working, giving the Israelis more security, and interestingly enough, giving the Palestinians more security. Because the terrorists are not crossing into Israel as much. Israel is not pushing into the West Bank as much and disturbing life there. And things are actually getting better in the West Bank. Their GDP in the West Bank is projected to grow 7% this year. They're investing in businesses. They just opened a movie theater in Ramallah. Now kids can go to a movie and not be scared they'll be blown up. We met with the chairman of the Palestinian Stock Exchange. They have 30 companies listed on their stock exchange, just barely starting up. But it's an effort to raise capital and invest in themselves and build on the ground a better life for themselves. Things have improved. There are signs of hope. There are surprises everywhere you go. I was walking down Ben Yehuda Street, the major street of Jerusalem. All kind of shops there, and I saw all kind of religious gear and so forth, and I went into one of the shops there where they sell the yarmulke, the little hat that the Jews wear to cover their heads and make sure that they are giving proper allegiance to God, and was able to find there one with a Tar Heel logo. Can you believe that? They'll do anything for $1. Proud to own that. Tar Heel yarmulke. Went to a project in Tel Aviv where Israeli pediatric heart surgeons take in children from the Gaza Strip and from Iran and Iraq, their Muslim enemies, and save those children's lives with heart surgery at no cost to them. It's a project called Save a Child's Heart. I was moved. People trying to do direct one-on-one things to learn how to get along with each other because the political system is a wreck. Talked to Abu Mazen, who is one of the Palestinian Authority negotiators. He was there negotiating at the Oslo and Camp